everybody. So no history today. You can just kick back and relax and enjoy the rest of your day. Ha ha, April Fool's Day. Not really. You do have history. Surprise! But that's exciting because history is awesome. I'm really excited about history today because Tate and Allie are going to share what they have researched with you guys. Tate is going to tell you about Adolf Hitler's rise to power, and Allie is going to tell you about the events that happened in 1933. There were so many that I gave her an entire year and told her to pick whatever was most important. Your job today is to, right now, pause the video, go get your notebook or a piece of loose leaf and come back, and you're going to take notes. So right now, pause the video, go get your notebook or loose leaf, pens, pencils, anything you need to take really good notes. Now that you have your note-taking supplies and you are ready to go, remember, when you're taking notes, you don't have to write down every single word that you hear. You just need the basics, the who, what, when, where, why, and how. Those are the things that you need to be looking out for and writing down. Don't write every single word that Tate and Allie say. I know they've got a lot of great information, but you only need the highlights in your notes. All right, Tate, take it away.
Hey guys, I'm really bored, but in order to unbore myself, or interest myself, I'm going to talk to you guys about something interesting. Adolf Hitler's rise to power. Yeah, it's pretty interesting. So we have to go all the way back to the end of World War I, when Germany has just signed this armistice to end the fighting in Europe. All right, so there are three things that you need to remember about this. First things first, their economy is broke now. This is very, very important. Their economy that was already super bad because of the war becomes even worse. They have to pay over $30 billion with a B, dollars in debt. Dude, they have to take credit for everything. All right, that's not pretty fun. Everything that happened, they have to take credit for. And that's pretty just stab in the heart. Three. Their army is completely depleted of its resources. It is now a joke. Alright, also, this is important later, the U.S. is giving them money. Just remember that. Okay, so, now Germany has to dissolve its government because their king abdicates from the throne and he has no heir. So they don't know what to do. So they form a new government, a parliamentary democracy. So, people who have been revolting before the end of the war to end it are now even revolting even more against this new government. And they're scared of a communist revolution, so they put that down. But at the end of it, these nationalists and these veterans come up and they say, hey, if you guys would have stopped beforehand, we could have won the war, and we wouldn't be in this trouble. And Hitler heard this, and he definitely agreed with it. So much so that he joined a small party called the Nazi Party. And during this time, he began to get these ideas of hatred toward the Jews and blamed them for it. So he worked his way up in the party, and he tried to overthrow the German government. He failed and got arrested. For 1 year, he was in prison and wrote a book called Mein Kampf, explaining how much he hated the Jews and how he was going to bring Germany back to its former glory. So, he gets out of jail, and it's 1929 now. After he's worked his way back up, 1929, the U.S. economy crashes. We are now in the Great Depression, and remember that money that we gave Germany? Yeah, we need that back. So now Germany's economy, that was already bad, even with our help, is even worse. So, these people are very, very mad and frustrated. So Hitler goes to that and says, hey, I'll bring us back greater than what we were. I'll restore us and some. So he runs for president. He loses, but he gets 36% of the vote. That's over 12 times what the Nazi Party used to get. See, the Nazi Party used to get less than 3%, and now they have 36%, so this is huge growth. And he loses to a man who was a war hero, General Hindenburg. Well, his advisors and some high businessmen advised him to, hey, you should put this Hitler guy in as chancellor, who's basically second in command. And he does it. The next year, so it's 1933, some guy burns down the parliamentary building, and Hitler says, hey, you should probably put me in charge of emergencies like this. So Hindenburg does, and and Hitler starts to pass these crazy anti-Jewish laws. He's destroying parties, killing people. It's not cool, but the president doesn't do anything about it. The next year, August 1934, President Hindenburg dies. He's pretty old, so he dies. And Hitler is now president of Germany. That's where I'm going to end it. That's his rise to power. Hitler's now president of Germany, 1934. Remember that.
So did you notice all of the connections that Tate made with the Great Depression and the events that we've learned about so far? I hope you did, because I'm going to have some questions for you at the end of the video. Now, Allie is going to tell you about the events that took place in 1933.
Hey guys, so today I'm going to be telling you everything that happened in Germany during 1933. And there were many events that happened, but I decided to choose the best 3 to help you get a better understanding of what happened. So my first point is whenever Adolf Hitler became chancellor. Once he became chancellor, a lot of people looked at him and gave him even more respect than originally and agreed that he knew what he was doing. So once he became chancellor, he was able to lead and control people, but to be able to control people 100%, he needed the Enabling Act, and that is exactly what he did, and that brings me to my second point. So the Enabling Act is actually a legislative power bestowed or given to someone by the government, and Adolf Hitler was just lucky enough to be able to get one of those. So whenever he got that, he was able to control the country of Germany more, and he was able to lead them and tell them what to do to put his plan into action. And Adolf, he wants power, he wants to be able to control people, he wants to say every decision that someone needs to make. And that is not an okay government, that is not an okay way to think, and I can assure you that almost every single nation would agree with that. So, because of that, he got Germany to leave the League of Nations, bringing me to my third point. Once he left the League of Nations, well, they left. That means that they were able to get by quicker, smoother, stealthier, and not get caught by the League of Nations to stop his plan from being in pursuit. That means that he would be able to take over countries, cause wars, cause fights, battles, etc. He did all of that just to become the biggest, the most powerful, and the strongest. And I hope that helps you understand more about what happened in Germany during 1933. And that's all I have for you.
That was such awesome information. Thank you, Tate and Allie. That was so good. I hope you were all taking great notes. I want to see pictures of those when you are finished. I'm going to ask you some follow-up questions. Tate mentioned a German king who abdicated the throne. I want you to use your knowledge of history and make an educated guess as to who you think that German king was. And then I want you to do some very quick research and see if you're right. The second question, Tate mentioned that Adolf Hitler wrote a book while he was in prison. I want you to write down the German name for that book and then look it up and see what does that mean in English. So what does it mean in German? What does it mean in English? And the final question, Allie described Adolf Hitler as a leader who wanted to control everything. He wanted power and he wanted to control the entire country and eventually the world. So what is the proper term for a government leader who holds all the control and all the power in a country? What would that be called? Write your answer to all 3 of those questions and send them to me along with your picture of your notes from today's video. A lot of you actually sent history videos and I'm really excited to share them with everybody else. I'm going to be uploading them in chronological order. So remember, chronos means time in Greek and logic means with order. So to do something in an order that makes sense. In this case, it's doing it in order of time. So which one came first? So we started with Tate because his event came first, and then Allie's came in 1933. So if your event came in 1934, spoiler alert, yours is coming up tomorrow. So just because I haven't shared it yet doesn't mean I'm not going to. So don't worry, your video will be coming up soon. Y'all did an awesome job on them. I am so impressed and I can't wait for everybody to see them. So tune in tomorrow for the next episode of your history lesson.